I apologize for that. We disconnected at that point, so I have to do this all over again. From 2010, CCW World Champion. No, no, wait. Yes. From 2009, yes, 2010, CCW Champion one time, CCW World Champion one time, UFC Champion one time, WWE Champion one time. This time I won a few RP titles, but the one I had listed here was not the first one. The one I had the first time was the ACW Arabian Championship Wrestling's Scarab title, and I held it 2 times. And at this time, I was also an ROX champion, the Ring of Extreme, and it was a shortly lived fed, but I was honored to be its champion. Its only champion at that time. That's why it probably got destroyed, and it was probably a fed that because the man that had ACW changed it to Ring of Extreme, and it was very sad. And the both feds closed at the same time. It was a very sad thing, but and I was also a free agent on the HW, and I got IB banned and HW set and quit the next day on HW. But this was totally different. I probably lasted a few weeks there, and it was not the last time. I was a Royal Rumble winner, a PCWE Pro Wrestling Championship Entertainment World Champion one time, PCW Champion, World Champion one time. I brought back, and at the time I was running EWF, and it was the only federation I was running at the time because I wanted to switch PCW to EWF, and I realized it was the wrong thing to do, and I brought back PCW for the people in 2010, the PWF, and I was an FCW superstar at that point too, at Troy's Fed when it was FCW, and I probably lost some of the parts of this. I apologize for that, but whatever. And I was also a IWGP World Champion. I already said ROX. EWF Tag Champion. But at the time, we also unified the PCW tag title and the EWF tag title with Edge, who was Danny. I was Randy Orton at the time. We were rated RKO. We were PCW Tag Champions one time as RKO, rated RKO, but we were also EWF Tag Champions. So we did a smart thing and unified the tag team titles. Idea WWE had maybe 2009, 2010, something around there. They had the idea, so it was best for their company at the time. And I held that one time and only one time. But at this point in 2010, my record of holding a tag team title for 5 months is still not broken. Not even by me. I've tried it. It hasn't worked. But NWO champion. If you know what NWO is, good for you. And I retired from SCW at that time. And in Mystico's fed. By the way, Mystico is a great person. By the way. In Mystico's fed, I held that NWO championship. But I also held the WWE title one time. A PCW World Champion one more time. A PCW United States Champion 2 times. A WKF Champion. I have no idea what the fuck WKF stands for. It was a very short-lived federation, just like ROX was, and I was honored to be its champion for maybe a few weeks. And squirrels are running in my attic. Holy shit. The squirrels can kiss my ass right now because they're going to die in a few days anyway. Because we're just going to leave them there, and they're going to die. And we're all going to live, and we're going to dance to be happy. Anyway. EWA, Extreme Wrestling Association. I won their title one time. EWF Intercontinental title one time. SPW champion one time. USW champion one time. And this was actually the final time I held a USW title. Because at that point, I got fired from it, and Ashley's a whore, and she can kiss my ass. NWF champion 2 times. This is probably the final, and I still hold the NWF title. ECW champion one time. And at this time, at this time, there was management changes. There was drafts every year. I forgot to mention that. But sometimes management was drafted. So like Andy at this time was in PCW management. I was in EWF management. But during this particular draft, I regained control of PCW, and I'm glad of that because I founded it. I wanted to finish it myself. Probably won't because of an announcement I will have for later on. A WWE World Heavyweight Champion one time. A WWE Unified Champion. One time with Edge, aka something. I don't remember his name. Hot Boy. I'm using his. I put his username there. I don't care. Hot Boy. Random numbers. And we are still the current champions. ECW Cruiserweight Champion one time. And this was the only time I ever held a Cruiserweight title, which means I'm officially I am officially a Grand Slam champion. But haven't been Grand Slam champion all over. But this officially, I guess, because I held a television title, ECW, it was probably a Cruiserweight title. But it was for Taker's fan. Taker's an asshole. Taker 300, but it doesn't matter. And let's see. ECW champion one time. EHWE, Extreme Habo Wrestling Entertainments, World Heavyweight Champion one time. And again, I held a XHCW World Heavyweight title one time. And at this time, I was in PCW and there's lightning. Holy shit. There's lightning. Awesome. There's lightning. But, okay. I was in HW for a few weeks, probably as of last month. And it was a hell of a month, I'll tell you that much. Because of that month, which is actually 1 month ago. So we're really closing in on my career right now. I was on the number for HW had a Power 15, and on the Power 15, I was number 13 because I won a few matches, lost a few matches, and on my first match, I almost beat their Batista and John. John's a pretty good competitor, by the way. Good for John. But number 13 of 15 on the Power 25. Power 15. It was not a Power 25. It was a Power 15. They probably made it a Power 25 now just because I said that. But this was on May 2nd, 2010. And at this time, I began to hold roleplay titles again. I was the HOW Lightweight Champion one time. I probably held it for a week. But I didn't care. I held it one time. An NWF World Champion 2 times and the current champion. And I was an XIW General Manager. I still am. This was a month ago. 2 times it because he closed the Fed one time, so I just counted this extra time. An XIW Extreme Division Champion one time, and that's when he closed the Fed, and I had to give the title up. And XIW Champion one time, I also had to give that title up due to the Federation being stupid at that time. But I was number 15 at that time on the Power 15 of HCW, May 16th, 2010. And after a few days after that, I got fired, quit, whatever you want to call it. I got banned. Didn't matter. But because of something I did a few months ago. But we patched that up with Renee, I don't know if Klaus probably didn't give a fuck. But I actually wrote on his birthday. On his real birthday, I wrote stuff, said I'm sorry. Didn't really matter. I hope he accepted it. Maybe he doesn't. I don't really care. But at this time, I was also and of all the years I was in HW for 3 years. Fucked up matches or not with what's his name, Doggy Red. Those were not actual matches because I was not officially signed to HCW. Yet I had matches anyway. Well, I was signed, but I just didn't give a shit at that point because I kept quitting, getting fired, whatever you want to call it. So those were not actual matches according to the record. My official HW record was 4 wins and 2 losses, and this is pretty recent. I finally got a record in HW. It was awesome. And my NWA record, because Troy had an NWA, it was 0-4. Yet I still was a tag team champion in NWA, which was stupid. Troy's stupid sometimes like that. But Troy, thank you, because I'm also officially an NWA Hall of Famer. My Ring of Awesome. But that was in the same week, by the way.